Once upon a time, in a sunny classroom, sat Cory the crayon. A bright blue crayon with a big dream to color outside the lines. Now, Cory wasn't just any crayon. He was a super special crayon with a magic twist. You see, Cory had one crayon rule: no lines allowed. Now, you might be asking, why did Cory have this rule? Well, that's because Cory had a very specific goal. He wanted to draw a picture so wild, so free, so wonderfully wacky that no one would ever think of drawing it. And what better way to do that than by refusing to stay inside those boring, predictable lines? For instance, when Miss Periwinkle asked Cory to draw a tree, he drew a bright purple tree with a bushy green top and a thick black trunk. When Miss Periwinkle inquired about the uniqueness of his artwork, Cory proudly explained his artistic vision. Trees can be any color, Miss Periwinkle, he said, and their branches can look like anything. Miss Periwinkle, while appreciating Cory's enthusiasm, gently reminded him that traditional trees were usually brown and green. Cory simply smiled and continued adding yellow polka dots to his masterpiece. Polka dots make everything better, he declared. But as the days went by, Cory's refusal to stay in the lines caused quite the stir in the classroom. His drawings were full of surprises. He colored the sky green instead of blue, made clouds look like cotton candy, and even gave the fish underwater parking lots. It wasn't that the other crayons didn't like coloring outside the lines. They loved it. The problem was they also loved staying in the lines. They enjoyed the predictability, the neatness, the organized world within the borders. One day, Miss Periwinkle asked Cory to draw a picture of her pet cat, Mittens. Now, Cory thought for a moment. Mittens was a fluffy white cat with a pink nose and green eyes. But what if he drew her with sunglasses and made her fur a dazzling shade of orange? Or maybe he could draw her chasing a green butterfly with wings made of pizza. As Cory pondered these creative possibilities, he completely forgot about the lines. When Miss Periwinkle saw Cory's drawing, she couldn't help but laugh. It was so funny. There was Mittens wearing sunglasses, but instead of a butterfly, she was chasing a fish flying a kite. And yes, her fur was indeed a beautiful shade of orange. But something was missing. Where were the lines? Cory, Miss Periwinkle asked with a smile. Don't you think your picture would look even better if we add some lines? Cory looked at his drawing and thought for a moment. He loved his picture, but he had never thought of adding lines to it. Could it actually make his already amazing drawing even better? Before Cory could reply, Tommy the triangle jumped in. Oh, yeah, he said. Lines are great. They make everything neater. Like, look at my drawing. Tommy showed them his drawing. It was a perfect rendition of Miss Periwinkle's pet cat, Mittens. She was white with a pink nose and green eyes, and her fur was a lovely white. Tommy had colored inside the lines, and it looked fantastic. That is a wonderful drawing, Tommy, Miss Periwinkle praised him. You colored perfectly inside the lines. Tommy beamed with pride. I love coloring inside the lines, he said. Just then, Rosie the circle chimed in. Me too, she said. It's so much fun to stay in the lines. Hearing this, Cory felt a little sad. He loved making wild and wacky drawings, but he also liked it when his friends agreed with him. He took a deep breath and said, well, maybe sometimes it's okay to color inside the lines. Miss Periwinkle, who had been watching Cory with kindness and understanding spoke up. Cory, there's nothing wrong with coloring inside the lines. In fact, sometimes it's a lot of fun. But there's also nothing wrong with coloring outside the lines either. Both ways are fantastic. Relieved to hear these words, Cory replied, "Thank you, Miss Periwinkle. I'm really glad you understand." Then, as if on cue, someone shouted, "Ooh, let's draw a monster truck rally." The whole crayon box got excited. Monster trucks were awesome. Everyone started drawing, staying in the lines, outside the lines, some even colored inside and outside the lines. It was pure crayon chaos. As they drew, Miss Periwinkle joined in, too. She drew tire tracks, checkered flags, and even a trophy for the winner of the big race. After all the drawing, they took a break and admired their artwork. And you know what? It was fantastic. Every crayon had found their own style. Some drawings were neat and tidy, staying perfectly within the lines. Others were wild and free, bursting with colors and shapes beyond the confines of the borders. Looking at all the artwork, Cory realized something important. It didn't matter whether you colored inside or outside the lines. What truly mattered was having fun, expressing yourself, and being kind to others. He understood now that being a good artist wasn't about following rules, but about finding your own style and enjoying the process. From that day forward, Cory the Crayon continued to make his wacky drawings, filling the classroom with sunshine and smiles. He colored the ocean bright pink and the grass a cheerful shade of orange. He drew flowers that looked like hamburgers and trees with polka dot trunks. But now, after learning a valuable lesson about friendship and creativity, he also colored inside the lines from time to time. In fact, he became quite good at it. Sometimes he even colored inside the lines and outside the lines at the same time. He made pictures that were both neat and tidy and wild and wacky. And whenever he colored, he remembered to include his friends. He drew pictures for Tommy the triangle and Rosie the circle, and they all colored together, laughing and having fun. They made pictures for each other, for Miss Periwinkle and for themselves. And every drawing, whether inside the lines or outside, was a celebration of their unique crayon magic. So remember, my young friends, there are no mistakes in art. Every mark, every color, every line, or lack thereof is part of your unique crayon magic. So grab your crayons and let your creativity run wild. Make bold choices, experiment with colors, and don't be afraid to break the rules. Who knows? You might just create a masterpiece that wows everyone around you. And if anyone tells you that your drawing is too messy or too crazy, just remember that art is not about being neat and tidy. It's about expressing yourself and having fun. So keep coloring, my friends, and let your crayons dance on the paper. Create your own masterpieces and share them with the world. And most importantly, remember to include your friends in your artwork. Make pictures for them, make pictures together, and celebrate the beauty of friendship through your art. After all, art is not just about what you create, it's about who you create it with. So go forth, young artists, and make the world a more colorful place. Let your crayons sing, let your pencils dance, and let your imagination soar. Remember, there are no mistakes in art, only happy accidents waiting to be discovered. So keep creating, keep sharing, and keep believing in the magic of art. And with that, our fun-filled journey through the land of colors and creativity comes to an end. If you've enjoyed this colorful adventure with Cory the Crayon and his crayon friends, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe for more exciting tales. And if you have a crayon story of your own to share, we'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Keep creating, young artists, and remember, there are no mistakes in art, only happy accidents waiting to be discovered. Until next time, happy coloring and keep being you, uniquely and wonderfully you.